Have you ever had a radical shift in your opinion just in 3 days? Because I did, and it feels so fucking weird. In my spoiler-free review of Superman, I mentioned that I didn't like the movie. The biggest issue that I had is that I didn't feel anything in the first 2 acts, and I blame the pacing of the movie. I thought it was very quick. I thought there were a lot of characters and there were a lot of subplots, and I just couldn't focus in the feelings that the movie wanted me to feel. But I also mentioned that I had one of the worst theater experiences I ever had. In fact, it's the worst theater experience I ever had. Here's a clip. The film freezed like 3 times. I watched this film in 4D, so in 4D you know that you have to sometimes use 3D glasses, so they gave us 3D glasses. The 3D wasn't working at first, so they had to restart the film, and then the 4D wasn't working, so they had to restart the film again. I mean, basically I need my money back. In that video my tone sounds very lightweight, but that wasn't my tone screaming at the theater staff that day watching the film Furious, my most anticipated film of the year, Furious. We had a lot of the audience also angry at the theater. I already asked for a refund. They got back to me, so we were dealing with that. Every time I told this story to my friends in the last 3 days, they always responded the same thing. They told me, isn't it because your experience was so bad that maybe you thought the film was bad? And I was like, was my perception affected because of that horrible theater experience? So last night I went to rewatch this film with 2 of my friends with a slight piece of hope that maybe I was gonna like it more. And I didn't end up liking it. I end up loving it. This film fucking rocks! It felt like a completely different movie. Completely different. I loved Superman. My mood was completely different. My mood was more close to the mood of the film. This hopeful feeling that you get from it. So let's talk about spoilers. Fuck hope, because this film has a reveal that shocked the shit out of me and shocked the shit out of me. Because if you're a Superman fan, you know how like big is the fact that you changed Jor-El's character and the parents of Superman. It's revealed that these guys are assholes and these guys want Superman to dominate the world. And I'm gonna be honest, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, wow, this is a shift move. And I was thinking the same thing that Superman was thinking. Maybe this translation is not right, but no, I thought that was very ballsy. But like I said in my spoiler-free review, it works for this film, it works for this version, and for what this film is trying to say to such a degree that I really don't care the change. It's cool, it's a cool change. That being said, I just imagine someone who is a big fan of Jor-El and was expecting to see Jor-El in this movie and being like, it's similar to Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi, everybody being like, I'm a big fan of Luke, what did you do to my character, you know? James Gunn is very brave with a lot of moments of Superman. The other moment that I was also taken aback was the moment that Superman put a dictator on his back with a cactus, although that's not shown, it's just told. I love that scene, but that moment I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Superman torturing a dictator, although it's called a president. I'm sure a lot of people instantly will say, Superman in this version is Punisher. Punisher would have killed that dictator instantly. His intentions is what matters the most. Superman's intentions, he just wanted to save people. And I love that aspect of it. I love the aspect that this Superman is not flawless. He's a very flawed human being, although he's not a human. And that conversation was awesome. And it was mostly quiet. There was no music in it. And this was masterful writing because Gunn used this scene where we're introduced to this relationship and these 2 characters, but also giving us exposition of what happened previously. And it didn't feel like exposition. It felt like a conversation between 2 people that you could understand both perspectives. Apparently this movie is too political. I don't know what that means. I don't get that complaint. Does it mean that Gunn is siding too much with one side and he's shoving the message that you should join that side? Does that too political complaint mean? Yeah, the conflict of Boravia and Jorhanpur, I don't remember the name of the other country. Yeah, it's very similar to real world events that are happening right now. And very obvious, but it doesn't matter to me because it works for this story, it works for the themes of the story, and it works for the character of Superman. And I didn't feel that it was shoving the message in my face. I was just looking at a movie of a filmmaker that has his stance in politics, and is just showing this conflict and seeing how Superman will act in this conflict. And in my opinion, it makes sense how he will act in this conflict. In fact, like I said, he's not perfect in this conflict. He tortured a dictator. He's the type of filmmaker who doesn't give a shit what people are gonna criticize about his film. He just puts it there and he doesn't care. And that's the type of filmmaking we should support. Someone who says the truth about what he feels. That being said, even though it's obvious what he's trying to say with this conflict inside this film, he also is trying to make us understand the other side of the spectrum, because Superman is saying, do you believe that he's invading that country because he's trying to free them? Do you truly believe that? And Lois Lane says, do I know for sure that? No. And that's true. We don't know for sure things like that. Is it obvious for us? Maybe, but we don't really know if it is 100% true. Those type of dialogue scenes are the best. The ones that you understand each of the perspectives of a debate, and I understood both of them. Do I side more with Superman? Yeah, a little bit, but like, that's awesome. The fact that you understand also Lois. But man, I really couldn't feel the moments when Superman was saving people the first time I watched the film. The second time I really felt them, because they were my most anticipated moments in the film. Watching Superman actually saving people. He even saves a squirrel. Those moments were amazing. In fact, the action was great. I didn't talk enough about the action in my first video. The action is fantastic. In fact, I think when it's about action, it's the best Superman movie. Easily. Because the punches, you really feel them. You really feel that Superman is getting his ass kicked. And there are a lot of moments of action that they were fucking awesome. And I don't know, I like when he dislocates his fucking shoulder, I was like, oh. And everyone in the theater was like, oh shit. The action here didn't feel like comic book movies of today. It felt like a brutal action movie like John Wick, but with Superman. David Corenswet maybe is not the best actor that has played Superman. Christopher Reeve had a long time to become an icon. David Corenswet is just recently out, but his character is easily my favorite Superman character. He feels so human. He's so good. He's flawed, but he's so good. And it contrasts a lot with the people in this film, because there's a lot of evil people here. The one moment that I felt it was so cruel was obviously when Lex kills Malik. I think that was his name, which again is a scene that you don't usually see in comic book movies. I thought the first time I watched it, I thought he was never gonna be killed. I thought he was just like threatening him, but no, he kills him, and thought I was brutal. But also the moment when Metamorpho is trying to help Superman with the sun stuff, and everybody around them in the other cells is screaming at the guards because they don't want the guards to like see them as accomplices. So that moment also like really got me angry, because I was like, these people are assholes, are cowards, and we are just trying to see this Superman trying to save this baby, which by the way, every time I see a baby in danger now after my niece was born, it's very difficult. And seeing this alien baby in danger in Superman's hand, oh, it broke my heart. But the baby is saved. The baby is alive at the end of the movie, thank God, and he's not hurt. He's not hurt or anything. Yeah, baby is alive. Baby rocks. I still feel that the first minutes are very difficult to digest. It still feels very fast, and there's a lot of information being like hit at you. And even my friend said that, and he loved the film, by the way, and I did. But yeah, those minutes still feel like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. When the Hammer of Barabia was there, I was like, oh, okay, this is a villain. Okay, Superman. Man, the music also. The music at the start of the film with the text gave me goosebumps this time around. My opinion also completely changed with Lex Luthor. The moment he got off his plane, my friend turned to me and said, this is easily the best Lex Luthor we ever had. And he's right. Nicholas Hoult is amazing. Apparently he's already been revealed that he was the most paid actor in this film. It makes completely sense. I mean, he has already star power, but he's amazing in this film. He's easily the best actor in the film, and he gives the best performance in the entire movie. And I complained the fact that his character was very weak and his motivation was very weak. But when I watched the film this time around, I just felt that I was watching an evil person that could be real. And in that way, it worked. And I end up liking him a lot. 1A! 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 That moment, 1A! That moment was really awesome. And the moment, obviously, when Superman gives him this speech that didn't work the first time around. I said that I love the third act of the film. Even the first time I watched it, it was my favorite part of the film. But I said there were some moments that were awesome, but I would have liked it if they were better set up. This was one of those moments. His speech, this speech that he gives to Lex, it didn't work for me that much that first time I watched it because I felt those two characters didn't share enough screen time. But this time around, I liked it way more than the first time, without a doubt. And also I noticed that the moment he puts his finger on Superman's chest is the moment that Krypto attacks him. Krypto was amazing, by the way, in this film. He was awesome. He didn't have that much screen time as I thought he was gonna have, but the one that had, he was amazing. That moment was awesome. And the moment Superman is standing with this Superman pose in front of Lex, when it's revealed that he's an asshole to the entire world, and we have this close-up of Nicholas Hoult, gave me goosebumps this time around. Gave me goosebumps. I said to one of my viewers who asked me who's Ultraman because apparently he wanted me to spoil him, and I responded to him with this. And then someone replied to me with this. That was a funny reply. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, he was a disappointment because I just don't like the fact that in the third act it's presented that Lex can clone people, specifically Superman. I know that this world is crazy. I know that Lex has a lot of connections with powers and fantasy and stuff. But I don't know, if there was like a little scene or a little piece of dialogue in the first act that tells us that he was also working in cloning, that would have worked better. But yeah, those fight scenes were amazing, by the way. Mr. Terrific, when he's kicking everybody's ass, that was a great moment. Mr. Terrific was my favorite part when it's about the supporting characters, like supporting characters. When Lex's girlfriend was taking a selfie in the opening with Superman in the background and the Hammer of Borravia fighting in the background, my friend was like, ugh. He was like, ugh, I'm not gonna like this movie. And I was like, wait for it. And then it's revealed that she sometimes was taking selfies to give information to Jimmy like that, and that was a good reveal, you know. The ending was really heartfelt. The moment that almost made me cry this time around was when he was talking to Pa Kent. And the actor, I don't remember his name, but he's been in a lot of TV shows. That actor was fantastic, truly fantastic, and he felt so heartfelt. You know, I like the version of Pa Kent in Man of Steel. I like the conversation that he's having with Superman, but this time around, it just felt so close to the heart. And he's easily my favorite Pa Kent already, the one from this film. But yeah, the ending when he's being shown footage of his real parents. I remember the first time watching it, when they say, you want me to show you the footage of your parents to calm you down? And he's like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then he's shown the footage of his real parents, the parents that really raised him. It's a very touching ending. It's the type of James Gunn touching ending that I love. There are a lot of cameos in the film, obviously Supergirl, but the best one was Peacemaker. My friend lost it when he saw Peacemaker because he loves Peacemaker, the TV show. He lost it. Metamorpho also was great. I already mentioned his sequence, but his character was amazing. The actor, insane. I just love the fact that I just watched a movie again when a character is trying to do good all the time. He's always trying to believe in people. There's this little moment he tells to the engineer, you know, there's still time for you and him. You can still change, and they're still beating him up. And that moment just felt so Superman-y. And seeing a lot of asshole characters make a perfect contrast and make us like feel more for the Superman character. This film worked immensely more this time around. I loved it. I think it's insanely good. I don't know what happened to me the first. I know what happened to me this time around. It just something was very close to the heart. Yeah, this was the Superman movie that I was waiting for. like I said, I was disappointed. Now I'm like, yeah, this is what I wanted. I'm gonna give Superman a 9 out of 10. By the way, this headline rocks. That woman is insane. I think it's a woman who wrote that. I really cannot wait for what you have to say about this film with spoilers. Guys, as always, thank you for watching and take care of your time.